Welcome to Wealthy Women's Conversation Podcast, where we celebrate the incredible journeys of everyday amazing women who are building their own path to wealth and financial security on their own terms. I am your host, Trishelle Williams, and I am so thrilled to have you join us today. Here on Wealthy Women Conversations Podcast, we are all about breaking the mold and rewriting the rules when it comes to creating wealth. Are you an amazing woman that's 40 years old or older who's looking to build financial freedom? Then this is a podcast for you. Our goal each week is to be a beacon of hope and inspiration, no matter your age or money experience level. On this podcast, you will hear from amazing women who have overcome obstacles, defied societal expectations, and created their own version of wealth, success, strength, and resilience. Now, get ready for a heartwarming, relatable, fun, and empowering conversation that will leave you feeling motivated to take action. Together, we'll shatter limitations, challenge conventional thinking, and redefine what it means to be a wealthy woman in today's world. So, let's tune in to today's conversation. Let's do it. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to our second amazing episode. And I am smiling as I say that because I get to do this part with my good girlfriend, Corinthia Dixie. Hey, girl.
Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Hey.
And I am so excited about it because when I decided to do a podcast, I had all of the people who I knew I wanted to have lined up. And I was like, ain't nobody getting up in here before my girls get up in here. And so I'm so excited to be able to have a wealthy conversation with her, with y'all, because we have it all the time, right?
And we do
it all the time. Talk about it. We make it happen. We make it do what it do. So welcome to today's episode where Miss Corinthia Dixie is an amazing coach for educators, honey. She rocks it out. And not only does she rock it out with fierceness and all that good. And she absolutely has taught me great things on how to create a wealthy life. I can truly say that my friendships are friendships that I know not only pour into, but they pour into me. And they make me consider what it also means to be wealthy. And I just appreciate that. So we gonna jump into it. You want to introduce yourself?
Hey, girl. Hey, wealthy women. I am Mrs. Corinthia Dixie. I am an educational coach and consultant where I help teachers stay in their desired roles as long as they choose with joy and ease. I'm a mom of two. I've been married for now 12 whole years.
Come on, 12 years. Hey.
We 12 years old, and I live in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes. Up in community.
All up in community.
I am so excited, and thank you so much for scheduling some time to hang out with me. You hang out with me all the time. I hang out with you all the time. But this is special because guess what? This is our first one.
It is.
If you haven't quite done so yet, y'all, for real, let me tell y'all, for real life, this is real life. And this podcast is going to be all about real life. We're going to have all the ups and downs, all the bumps. I know about the importance of professionalism and stuff, but I like to give you guys real deal situations. And last week when I did the welcome and the introduction, honey, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. The level of that crazy, I was like, that mic don't sound right. I don't know what I'm going to do. Just all the things that could potentially be a whole mess. It was, but we still said, sin, it's going to be what it is. And we'll walk through it. And so I hope that inspires you to continue to go forward. It doesn't have to be perfect. Completed is better than not done trying to get it perfected, right?
Absolutely.
And so one of the things that Corinthia absolutely loved is Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
She loves some Michelle Obama, honey. Michelle Obama do anything. She traveled. She got on the airplane to go see Michelle Obama, honey. And one of the things, what I know when something is happening with Michelle Obama, because Corinthia is going to let us know that something is happening with Michelle Obama. And what ended up happening was she had a new book, and I wasn't quite ready to read the book. And I finally decided to go ahead and read the book. And one of the things that she says in the book that was so impactful, and I talk about it now all the doggone time, is her kitchen table. Mm-hmm. And one of the things about this podcast is I want it to feel like my kitchen table. I want it to be girlfriends sitting around having real conversations about what real things are happening in their lives. And developing a wealthy space is real. And I know we see a lot of flash, and social media gives us access to things that we didn't originally have access to, but it is imperative for us to know what it takes in order to get into a space to be financially successful on our own terms. It's going to look different for everybody. And I appreciate my amazing friends and girlfriends because they help me to see that it doesn't have to look one way, because, honey, they know what they want, how they want it, when they want it. And when they don't, they like, let me consider. Listen, we go for it, right? So we're going to ask some questions to Corinthia. We're going to just have a whole kitchen table. So just remember, this is just kitchen table. Yes. Y'all enjoy kitchen table. Y'all know how it used to be. Did y'all have kitchen table time?
We did.
Listen, kitchen table time is life changing. All the things you learn, all kind of stuff, girl. Mm-hmm. So our first question. You ready?
I'm ready.
You ready? When did you start considering a wealth journey?
I started considering a wealth journey when I had two experiences. One, I didn't want to keep having conversations with Kevin about money.
Gotcha. And who is Kevin, so that people know?
Kevin is my husband, my 12-year-old husband.
Right.
That, and when I really believed that I could purchase things without consideration of cost or need. Mm-hmm. Because typically I bought what I needed or what I was told I needed or felt right to need. And then those things came with a cost. But if I needed it, I was like, okay, let's spend the money because I need it. Mm-hmm. But what about the stuff that I want that I don't need,
but
and it got to cost?
It got to cost. It got to cost.
So I was like, if I'm really going to buy what I want without consideration of cost or need, that requires more money than what I currently am making.
Got it. Got it. How long ago was that?
Let's see. How long I've been in Georgia? I would say about 3 years.
3 years.
Because Georgia got a different price tags than St. Louis.
Absolutely.
Midwest living in luxury is very different than Atlanta living in luxury.
Absolutely.
So I need more money.
Absolutely. And location really does matter. Uh-huh. So depending on where you are, it's going to look different. Depending on the circle you ride in, it's going to look different. Depending on where you want to be, it's going to look different. And I remember I have had countless moments of, man, my money life is not what I want it to be. It should be different. I need to change it. Just so many different things, so many pivotal moments that happened. And I definitely remember let's have a conversation with Kevin about all the things.
Yes.
And I think the interesting thing that people may not know about you is that you for real live the life of I buy what I want when I want it, right? And that's not normal for most people. Most people, I remember engaging with you in that space and I thought, what in the world is happening? What's going on? Like, how am I? Wait a minute. Hold the line. Like, it was such a shift of money awareness that you could literally have what you want. And most people don't. Most people live from a place of, I'm going to buy the thing I need and I'm going to try to find the least expensive of it. Not, I saw that one and that's the one I want. We'll go and there's nothing wrong with price matching. There's nothing wrong with doing all of those things. But we typically operate from the deficiency side than we do the abundance side, and so it's a really interesting thing. So next question is, what were some of the obstacles, the biggest challenges or obstacles that you faced along the way, and how did you overcome them?
One, like learning that the way I was making money was exchanging time for money.
Correct.
And learning that I don't have a lot of time. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to spend time doing stuff that I don't enjoy just to make money. Mm-hmm.
Girl, if you can say that a whole lot of times, a whole lot over and over and over. And I think people don't get that.
Right.
I don't think people have been so conditioned in the space that you just do what you got to do. Mm-hmm. And from the space of got to do what you got to do, you never consider this fact that you don't have to do things that you don't want to do to make money. You can actually do the things you desire, but then it becomes the space of how you get there.
Right.
How you get there? What happened? How you put that in place? So was there challenges to get to the space of your mindset of I am exchanging time for money to a place where I can do what I absolutely love? Now, I know all your business,
right.
But I do want you to explain it to them because they don't.
Correct.
The process, or some of the process that you've walked through in order to get to the place of literally walking in that.
Yeah. So I absolutely love teaching. And I love being an assistant principal, and I love being in a schoolhouse. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to think outside of that because I actually like getting up in the morning to go do that. Mm-hmm. But that becomes a barrier to increasing my wealth if I'm only considering, you love it. So figure out how you do it and keep doing it and just get another position in that to make more money.
Right.
But I'm like, no, because in a minute it's going to be like, what's happening? Mm-hmm. How many more years I got to do this? Or how many more hours do I have to get this? And it's still not hitting a goal. I'm still not able to fly first class on Emirates to Dubai with my current go to work everyday salary. Correct. So where's that money coming from so that I actually can go to Dubai? Because being in the schoolhouse, I'm limited to when I can go.
Right, absolutely. There's a lot of limitations.
Yes,
there's a lot of I can't get this, I can't go here, I can't do whatever. And so a part of that then means that you started to create, and I'm speaking in your words, and you get to correct that. But you started to create a wealthy life or a wealthy image that may not absolutely align with being an assistant principal.
Absolutely. Yeah, when they gave me a first and final warning.
Oh, damn.
And I was like, so, what we gonna do?
Tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help us God. Why not?
What we gonna do? Because somebody is now what you call applying pressure to the exchange time for money way of getting money, of getting wealth. And it's like, when somebody snatches that from you, what do you do?
And what's in place?
And Kevin had some wealth in place in order for me to resolve my first and final warning and still live, which also allowed me, what does Education Reconsidered do?
Right.
In order to allow me to create wealth from a space of less time but more money. Right. Because I'm learning that you can make more money in less time.
You surely can, can't you? Woo-wee. That's a whole lesson in itself, honey, because I remember my very first 10K client.
Come on.
I do. I remember thinking, I'm like struggling to get somebody to pay $500 for this. And somebody literally gave me $10,000 for the exact same thing because I had the answer, but it was the mindset around it. It was definitely a total mindset around it. So what do you think was your propel moment? Like, I know, okay, so most folks don't know the first and final story, but what happened before the first and final?
Okay, so you had said, well, you didn't tell me, but you suggested or offered that I buy the Dogecoin. So I bought that, and then that was making money. Right. But I wasn't going to work.
Right.
And then it made money. It kept making money, so I was able to take thousands of dollars out of it. Right. I was like, wait, she owed us something right.
There is another way.
There is another way. So to be able to pull out $2,000 out of something that I didn't go to work to do, I was like, oh, wait, all the things I can buy now with no consideration cost of need because money was making money for me. And I was like, so how do I do this more often?
Right. And that larger increases and more space, all of that.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember my first wealth jump as well. And that blew my mind. Like, that was the first time I understood when people would say money is easy.
And I was like, no, the hell it ain't. I don't know where they coming from or where they at. Money ain't been easy for me. I look around and a whole bunch of people working hard. They working real hard. It does not look like ease at all. Ease and flow is not in none of that. And then I looked into the next space and realized, that's a whole deal. That people have no idea or ability to realize there is an access in that space. And I am like blown away. And so for me, that changed for me as well. So let's look at number 3. Number 3 is, what unique approach or strategy did you employ to build wealth on your own terms?
I would think 2 things. 1, listen to people who are doing it and winning.
True that. True that.
So like listening to you have all these conversations with your dad. Her dad is Mufasa. I just want y'all to understand that. Okay, side note. But
I'm going to have to tell him that.
Yes, in real life.
I really am going to have to tell him that.
You having conversations with him about the Bitcoin thing. And I was like, okay, so if she's not going to miss out, then I clearly can't miss out.
Right.
So how do I take the steps that she is offering and the steps that she is suggesting so I can set myself up for success? And it's like, okay, listen to people who are doing it.
Right.
And who are walking the process and sharing insight. And then you did the masterclass on investing basics. And it was like, okay, this is some sequential steps and some options that I have. And then not just doing it once, but doing it multiple times.
Yes.
Because the first time it was like, okay, set this stuff up. Okay, I got it all set up. So now I'm ready for the next thing. And taking the steps and completing each step at a time is like, oh, so now I can buy a QQQ.
Right.
And I can put that on an automatic withdrawal.
Come on.
On an automatic withdrawal every 2 weeks at $10. And I'm like, it's not that I can't have Starbucks.
Right.
I can have Starbucks and QQQ.
Absolutely.
I can have Chick-fil-A
Absolutely.
and QQQ.
Right.
I can get sugared and QQQ.
Right. Absolutely. Which leads us into the conversation of defining your own space of what you believe success, wealth looks like from on your own terms. What does that look like for you?
It gives me access to stuff in now or in the future. Because I know that wealth building happens over time.
Absolutely.
So although I'm accustomed to getting paid for exchanging my time for money on the 1st and the 15th or the 15th and the 30th, however that falls, I know, yes, I'm getting that. When I book a new client, I'm getting that. But there is also this currency that is still creating. So 2 years from now, I could go and stay in Costa Rica for 3 months to be able to speak Spanish as much as I speak English, right?
Right.
Those things will be able to happen without me considering it.
Come on, total immersion.
Come on,
total immersion. Yes, let's do it. And that's a wealthy life right there.
Yes.
Because wealthy living is, there is a level of money because money gives you access, right? But there's also being very clear and aware about the things that really make you who you are, right? And as you know, I've spent a lot of time in my head figuring out who are you, what you want, right? And putting things in place and considering if that's really what I want and what I not want, all of the things, right? And so I think the interesting thing about creating the space that allows for you to define what wealth looks like for you is so very important. And most people have never stopped to really consider what that is.
Absolutely.
Money is connected to it, but then what? So the question then becomes, what advice would you give to people or other women who are just starting their own wealth building journey, who maybe are not grounded in the space of being as confident or self-aware? What's something you would say to them that you could offer them, just small things that would help them in their process?
I definitely would say, 1, you have to be absolutely clear about what you want your life to look like. When you decide, because I believe I got choice.
Right. Oh, she does. Absolutely, honey.
I believe I got choice. So how do I set myself up to increase my number of choices and the quality of my choices and the frequency of my choices? So me being able to think and know, what is it that I want?
Yeah.
And then how much does that cost?
Right.
And then how do I get the money or get access to the money to get that thing?
Okay.
And then I would also say, set the right expectations.
Girl. Lord, we are
Set
not.
the right expectations, because the number of times I'm like, okay, so how do I get this money out?
Yeah.
But it's not always about getting the money out. Like, this isn't right now money.
Right. Yeah.
So I shouldn't go into it expecting in 2 weeks, let me yank my $1 million out, because it doesn't happen like that.
That's not how it happens.
Which is great, because it gives me opportunity to get more and more clear about what it is I want.
And if what you think you want, you really want
Absolutely.
it. Right? Do you really want that? What's so interesting when you say that, the space of time, and I have struggled a tad bit with the whole time space. I like, in my brain, I'm like, the expectation of what I think should be versus the reality of what should be can sometimes be altered because of what we actually see. That is in social media land that so many people are thinking is real. That's not really real.
Right.
There's so many things that I think social media is amazing. I love it. I love it more than anything that I've engaged with from a social space, right? It is really absolutely awesome. But you have to also be very clear that it is also, a lot of it is curated, right?
Absolutely.
And things are curated to be and to look a particular way. And there's nothing wrong with it. I absolutely think it's awesome. And I'm actually okay. I look for people so I can follow them with their curated self.
Right.
I'm like, where my next TikTok follow at? Where's she at? I'm looking for her. Listen. So it's not that I don't want it. I want you to put it in its proper place so that you don't, as they would say, abort your process before time because you have a wrong expectation. And many times that can happen inside the wealth space because we are watching people say they're doing all of these things, but there's always missing information.
Absolutely.
All of the things you did not understand, you did not see, they did not share. All of that stuff is so very important. And so I am like, let's do it. Let's do it. So last question that I am going to share or going to ask you is what would be the question you would want someone to ask you about your wealth space that I didn't ask you? What's something that comes to mind? Things that you might think were pivotal or key?
I would say 2 things. 1, what I'm going to do with the money.
Okay. Come on, money. What we doing with it?
And then 2, how am I helping to inform my kids?
Ooh.
Because Donovan is making money. He's exchanging time for money.
Right.
And he is quickly learning.
Yes, he is.
Wait a minute. I got to do how many hours to do X, Y, and Z? Right?
A good learning lesson.
Yes. And Caitlin is like, how do I do less? Like, Dad, you should just give me money because I got up this morning and I watched YouTube. Like, Caitlin is not in the I'm exchanging time for money at all. So how do I take what I have learned about wealth to, one, cultivate that lovely freedom of Caitlin has, and to readjust and course correct Donovan before he goes into this next phase of life, because they're going to need it both. So that's what I would say. How am I course correcting my kids around money, and then also what I'm going to do with my wealth?
That's a whole nother podcast in itself.
Right.
Because the reality of it that most people are not aware of, I was sharing, because I study it a lot. Because I want to know, not just for teaching, but for myself. And when I started to really learn and dig into legacy, we hear people talk about legacy all the time. Legacy. And the reality of it is that the legacy typically only lasts 2 generations. Literally. And so I was telling my husband that, and I was telling him, there are 3 generations of his family currently living on the earth right now, right? Actually, there might be 4 generations. And the reality of it is if you don't teach them, the reality is that everything you worked your ass off for is gone as soon as you're gone. Because they don't know what it took or the reality of the realness of what it took in order for you to have the things that you have or that what you're providing for them. And so it is imperative to have that conversation. So that's great. What would be the first thing you purchase, though?
The first thing that I will purchase with my wealth will definitely be a set of first class tickets with open invitations on Emirates.
Okay. Come on, open invitations.
Like bulk. Like I could buy 10, 15 of them. So whenever I choose to say we out, we can just be out.
Come on out on Emirates. She's clear. She's clear which one it is. She's clear. And I don't think I even ask myself when I get to the ideal space, because the reality of it, you guys, is that we are hitting different milestones in the wealth journey. That's why it's a journey. Do you know what price wealth point is that for you? Have you made that decision yet?
No.
Okay.
I know right now for me and Kevin to go is about $10,000 a ticket.
Okay. So then the next thing for you is to be in a space where you are considering what wealth place, because every space we have, there are milestones, you know, making my first 10,000, making my first 100,000, like all of those milestones are there. And at some place you have to know where that will be. It's the same space of when you get QQQ, right? If you're at QQQ and QQQ blows out of the water, you have to know where, at what point do you take money out? You have to know when to take profit, right? And if you don't know when to take profit, most people who are new in the game don't take profit, and they could have taken profit. Instead of that, they let it sit there and then it drops all the way back down again, and they're back in the cycle to start over again. They're like, well, I learned my lesson. Right? That was the lesson. Listen, I could have had X, Y, and Z out, and you just didn't know any better, right? And so knowing that and taking that as a step to consider is going to be great. Well, I really appreciate you chatting.
Yes, girl.
Listen.
I'm always down to sit at the kitchen table.
Okay, come on, kitchen table, y'all. Listen. Well, I am so thankful for Corinthia coming to chat with us. This is going to end our amazing conversation for today with this awesome and amazing wealthy woman. I will be back with our next episode next week. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure you invite a friend. You send this to someone else so that they can have as much fun as we have on here. And also make sure you write a review on the podcast page. I believe they're somewhere on there, y'all. I'm still learning. I'll figure it out so I can give y'all direct instructions. But there is a space for you to write a review so that we can also grow in our numbers and get others to be over here to have the conversation. All right, y'all. I will see you on the wealthy side. Chat with y'all soon.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Wealthy Women Conversation Podcast. We hope you found inspiration and wisdom as we sat at the table to grow and learn with our amazing guest who has paved the way for her own financial freedom. Remember, you hold the power to create your own version of wealth, success, and fulfillment. No matter where you are on your journey, it's never too late to take control of your financial future. Keep seeking knowledge, exploring opportunities, and embracing your unique strengths. Together, we're challenging the norms, shattering limitations, and redefining what it means to be a wealthy woman in today's world. Join us for future episodes as we share captivating stories, insightful advice, and practical strategies to support our wealthy journey together. If you enjoyed this podcast, please don't hesitate to return next week, where there will be another amazing, brilliant, and absolutely captivating guest to speak on what it takes to build your own path to wealth and success. Thank you for tuning in to the Wealthy Women Conversations podcast. Stay focused, determined, and strive for the wealthy life you desire. Until next time, I'll see you on the wealthy side.